Fresh after watching the Punisher special presentation, One Last Kill, I'm gonna make a prediction that I know that you enjoyed it 100%.
But yeah, most definitely, bro. This left me with a smile on my face. Definitely gotta say, Frank Castle is definitely back, and I'm wowed, but I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm not 100% satisfied. But overall, I'm glad we got what we got, and definitely it is dabbing on the darker side of Marvel. I definitely think that people are ready for um, rated R material going forward with the MCU. I don't know about you.
Which tried to look up the timeline. They're telling us it's between the season of Daredevil Born Again season 2 and
Brand
Spider-Man
new day.
Brand New Day this takes place. So we have a Frank that's disgruntled and he's in the process having a hard time finding a purpose in life. And we come across Nucci, part of the Nucci crime family, where Frank killed the whole family except for Nucci, and she takes revenge on Frank as he has to take on pretty much every single criminal in the particular area that Nucci put a bounty on his head. As simple as that may sound for me, I know you enjoyed it, but it was very underwhelming for me. What would be the purpose of this?
I mean, it doesn't really truly fill the gaps. I mean, there's a 10-year gap between, The Punisher and Brand New Day, Born Again, but overall leaves the audience asking more questions and giving answers. Overall, it seems that the Punisher is in a state of mind of trying to find out who he really is. It seems like he wants to give up, but it seems like he wants something to push him forward to continue being the Punisher. It's as if he feels like he lost his identity. But the reason why I think we got this is because it shows that not only that I stated earlier that I definitely think that this was just a test run for Marvel to present a rated R material on Disney Plus. And when I mean that, I know we got Brand New Day, but it's not the same like Punisher. Punisher is just a whole nother level. It's like the violence is cranked up to 100 at all times. It is like, I guess you could say he's the John Wick of this universe. And to be honest with you, like it happened in the comics. The whole story is based off a comic book that was released back in 2000. I believe it was called Welcome Back, Frank. And the premise is pretty much similar to the movie. I mean, we don't get too much of the backstory of how he killed the family, but basically, it's like kind of a retcon. It was a reboot, a soft reboot in the series at the time during 2000s because Frank was going through like, this demonic, like mystic realm type everything. He was sent to hell and then he was brought back by angels and he had demonic powers. But I mean, it's kind of funky, but I'm not really gonna go too deep into that. It gets really weird. It's a soft reboot. It's basically in a way it's saying that Frank is back. As I stated before, it's based off a comic book series, 12 issue called Welcome Back, Frank. So this is definitely it's suiting to see Frank come back. It's a test run to see how audience react to the Punisher coming to the MCU. I mean, everybody stated overall, everybody had their funny feelings about Disney acquiring all the Netflix series, that they were going to dim it down. I mean, we got Moon Knight and, other characters, the Winter Soldier and Falcon, and it was all dimmed down and it wasn't that violent. But overall, definitely think that Kevin Feige and the MCU is not afraid to dabble into MA and rated R series. I mean, as we saw this short presentation, they're not afraid to go down that route. And I love it. Like, I mean, it's about time that we're going darker with the storylines and we're actually referencing the comic books. We're not just changing everything and then kind of just slapping the title of a comic book series right on a name because the character is in the movie or TV show.
Yeah.
I mean, it I'm not going to lie to you. Uh, Even though I love this series, I am not 100% satisfied, as I say.
Are
45
you talking
minutes is
about this particular presentation or just the Punisher series over?
No, I'm talking about this particular special presentation. Yes, don't get me wrong. I loved it. I love the violence, the action, the fight scenes, the choreography. I mean, the storyline was great. It was straight, simple, and straight to the point. I mean, you don't need more than that. It is basically an action movie. I mean, you really don't need too much to emphasize on why he's doing what he's doing. But it was a nice little touch in how, his PTSD is in he's lost in his ways and all that. But to get to my point is that, man, I felt like I just lost my thought for a second. But overall, I did feel that 45 minutes did not do justice to this presentation. And to be honest with you, at the time when I heard the release that it was going to be 45 minutes long, I thought that was enough time. But as me watching the series, I'm like, they could have just added another 15 minutes to give them an hour at least an hour. And
It
I
should have
get
been
it.
2 hours. I would just come out and say it. It should have just been two
It
hours.
should have been longer than 45 minutes. That I don't know who decided to make that runtime, but overall, I did feel like the message was straightforward and it came across. And I'm cool with it. I'm definitely going to rewatch it again. Love the action. Like I said, the storyline had me like wowed from the first few seconds all the way to the end. I mean, I don't know about you, but overall, like this is what I'm talking about. To go back to Daredevil, Born Again season 2, they are really, really, really trying to shove it in our face. And when I'm saying this, pause. They really want us to know that they're not afraid to get dark with their shit, and it's about time, bro. It's about time because I'm getting tired of this PG-13 shit. I mean, at some point, bro, come on. Like the fans you have left are around our age, as millennials in 30s and 40s. We grew up with the series, starting all the way back to Iron Man 1. And I mean, at some point, how long is it going to take for you to get that dark? I mean, it's time to grow up. And I get it. They're trying to sell merchandise and toys to the kids and all that. That's cool. Like certain characters I can understand that don't go like, really, really dark. But overall, there's certain characters you can't go, soft with. And this is definitely one of them. So I'm not disappointed.
I knew you was gonna enjoy it. But for me personally, the big rumor about this special presentation was us having to continuously keep going down, battling what he should do with the rest of his what would be his purpose, right? And we experienced it in season 1 where he's this average civilian working at a construction site and then finally found a purpose again when he decided to save the youngest construction worker from the bullies that were working there. Then he found purpose doing that. And then season 2, civilian again, and he saves a little girl that holds on to some pictures. I believe it was for some government official, and it turned into one big mess where he ended up getting pulled back into it. So I felt like if we were going to go down that route where you're trying to find a sense of purpose, you got to go through the stages. And I feel like you gave us like a microwave backstory with that process, and I feel like that's where they made the mistake at with that. Now, hey, I'm cool with you. How do you say it? Just running the hands, but you could have came up with a much more basic story for us to keep this thing going. If you wanted to make it 45 minutes, I just felt like what it started off with, the amount of depth that you had to get into it, you
Hmm.
couldn't do it that fast. It just it needs a buildup, in my honest opinion. But as far as the action is concerned, I agree with you. The action 100% was great. Now, to my disappointment, he never killed Manucci. I'm extremely disappointed about that part. I really felt like that's how it should have ended. It shouldn't have been ended with the guy that killed the dog, which, to be honest, that was an asshole, if we're being honest. And you know how I feel about animals.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It that and I asked you what was the purpose of it, and you told me that this is kind of like a prototype type of thing, but we're going to see how what the ratings are, how people are going to react to something this dark. And I'm just like, I'm kind of thinking, like, to be honest, I really think people are going to respond well to it, but again, I just feel like it was just a I'm gonna ask you this. Would you rather have this special presentation or him participate in Daredevil Born Again season 2?
Ooh, that's difficult, yo, man. I was gonna say this earlier because I was gonna save it later for the pod, but because you're asking me right now, straightforward, how the way I feel, I definitely feel that I would rather have this presentation, to be honest with you,
Wha
because if they kept them, and I'm gonna be honest with you, my this is my opinion. I'm not saying this is factual, so don't get like don't get all angry at me. I'm telling you for what how I felt the way that they carried the Punisher in season one, which was great. It was phenomenal. But if we're gonna be honest with each other, Jon Bernthal and Charlie Cox are both goats right now, and they're everybody wants to see them on screen together. But I felt that because it is a Daredevil show, that Frank Castle wasn't going to get the shine he truly deserves. And it's not disrespecting Jon Bernthal. What I'm saying is because if they put him in season two, I feel like they were just going to run him as a cameo, maybe have him, maybe one, two. And if you're really pushing it, 3 episodes. Like, to be honest with you, how long did we get Frank in season one? That was like
2
two episodes and a half. If you run like
2
the
episodes.
2 episodes.
Like,
And to
he
be honest
stopped
with
and
you,
saw him for a brief second in his little hideout, and then you didn't see him again until episode 8.
so like about like 2 episodes and a half, but overall, like that's not enough, bro. Like I can't accept that. Like I need more like
I got
Frank
another
Castle,
question
bro.
for you. I got another question for you. You know, we said we've had multiple conversations about him being locked up in a cage, right?
Yep.
And this is where you were been at this whole time?
Yeah. So it seems that I feel like I can't pinpoint exactly where this is in the timeline, but from where I'm understanding, I know it's in between season two and Brand New Day. Okay, cool. More power to you. So he basically ran to finish what he started. So it's implied that because in season one he was telling, well, he didn't tell Daredevil, but it was implied that he was still running as the Punisher and continuing his legacy to continue to hurt those who hurt his family, which is you want to know what's something really really funny about this, that I'm actually really was paying attention to how they doing the lore into this short presentation. This is the third time they kept retconning who killed his family. If you remember in Daredevil on Netflix in season two, it was the Italians, I believe they were called the Mad Dogs, that had something to do with the
I
murder
thought it
of his
was the
family.
government.
And then Punisher season one, it was the government. It was a retcon. It was a mission, a covert mission, and it got funky. And then they wanted to tie up loose ends and kill Frank, but because they couldn't kill him, they killed his family. And then now we're getting to the fact that it wasn't just one mob family that had something to do with the death of his family. It had several. So he went after all these mobsters. And it seems that the Nucci family was the last ones that had something to do with his family, which is really, really crazy because I'm thinking about like this is like the third time you retcon who killed his family. So like the government has something to do with this. So they hired the mafia to kill your family. Is that how bad you couldn't kill this man? Like you made him basically he's like the John Rambo and the John Wick of this universe. Like he's that fucking, thorough with his shit. The government can't even get involved all the time to kill Frank. And which I ain't knocking it. I'm cool with you kept, changing things here and there. I'm cool with it. And I get it. It is a soft reboot. So technically they don't have to go back to every single thing the Netflix retcon. But I did like how they brought the carousel and his family. And I don't think those were originally the kids that were in the show. So I mean, overall, I know that they probably already outgrown and
They freaking like adults now, ain't they?
now, yeah. So it's been like 10 years. So I'm cool with it. But, I think that was the wife. I think that was the original wife in the Netflix series. I do. Don't quote me on that. I do believe that that was part of the Netflix series with the carousel that was added to the lore, which is cool. Like I said, going forward, that they're really trying to retcon the Netflix series. But it seems that from what I'm paying attention, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But overall, I do think that they changed little things here and there, which I'm okay with. But to go back and answer your question, no, I preferred the special presentation more because we got more Frank, and I know it's only 45 minutes. I know that. It's not enough. It's not enough for the runtime. And yes, I'm happy with it, but I still have this like craving, wanting more. And like I felt like they should have just gave him the hour, bro. Like give him the hour. And to be honest with you, when I heard it was gonna be a short presentation, only reason I really thought that is probably because I know that they had other Marvel series and TV shows that they wanna, create and add to the lore and everything is connected. So I get it. This was asked by Jon Bernthal at the last minute. So I see why he wasn't in season 2. He was busy recording days, which is cool. Like, okay, cool, no problem. But I like what we got and how it was created with such short time. It was cool. And I love how we brought back characters from his season. And there's still a lot more questions that need to be answered because I mean, there's still a lot of characters out in his universe that need to be brought back. Because one of the things I really thought when he saw himself walking around with the Punisher suit on, I really thought that was Jigsaw for a minute. And but then as he gets closer, it's just he's just seeing himself, envisioning himself in the Punisher suit. He's basically trying to fight his personality, who he really is. Because as we all know it from the Netflix series, the day that Frank Castle died was the day that his family was murdered. And that day, the Punisher was born. Because technically there is no Frank Castle anymore. It's only the Punisher. He deals in punishment. And that's why he's been going after the crime mafia for so long. And I know it's crazy because it's been 10 years. I mean, if you go by the Netflix series, every season that was released, it was in that time frame, in that year. So if we're gonna be accurate, 10 years, he's been haunting the people that have been, that had something to do with the murder, the murder of his family. And overall, I do get you. Like Maguchi should have had died. But I do think, like I said, they're dabbling and they're having fun with it. I'm okay with it. And it leads us in the audience wanting more. So I think they're gonna give us more. So I do think they should have give us in a season. You most definitely. They should have gave us another season of Punisher. It should have definitely been what 8 episodes at least, at least. But overall, I'm okay with it. John Bernthal did present this to Kevin Feige. He was like, I do want my own shit. But to be honest with you, if we're gonna be really, really honest, I'm gonna give you my fucking opinion. This should have been a fucking movie. This should have been 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. I would have been satisfied with that, at least.
So us going into Spider-Man Brand New Day, we get a watered down Punisher, and we just came off of this. So and that's why I'll have the question like, what was the mindset about this? And you brought up the fact that this was kind of like a last minute thing, but we just going down just the timeline. We coming off of Daredevil's. Well, the last time we saw him was Daredevil season 1. Phenomenal appearance, graphic, and then we get this, which you think that this is a test run to see what we're gonna get as far as ratings is concerned to continue on with this dark path into Marvel, and then we jump to Spider-Man Brand New Day, where 9 times out of 10 you're not gonna get that graphic Frank. So it's gonna be a little bit of an inconsistency here moving forward, but
Nah, and I do agree with you because we are definitely getting a watered down Punisher, and I mean I'm upset with it. It ain't pissing me off. But you know it's Spider-Man. You know they're not gonna let him go ham, bro. You know he's not gonna go full rated R. I mean, in the trailer, I'm okay with it. It's cool to see Frank with Spider-Man. It happens in the comics, it happened in the animated series, it happens in TV shows, and I'm cool with it. But overall, this is why I think we got the presentation too, because I feel like people are craving the Punisher a lot now. Like they want to see him on the screen. They want him in the universe. They want him doing things, consistency. They want that. And I'm all for it, bro. Like John Bernthal is that dude. He's the GOAT. Like he is Frank Castle. Like there's no debate.
mhm.
There is no debate. Like I mean, overall, I did like the other three actors who played Frank Castle. But overall, this is that guy. This is that man. He is him. He brings them to life, and that's why I love about this presentation that we get this Frank that's lost, and he's trying to find his way, and he's suffering through his PTSD. He's beating himself up. And it seems like he wants to give up and he needs an answer. He's like, seems like he's trying to find the answer to his question. Like, what do I do? And it seems like he was down on his luck. You know, he's trying to kill himself. He just wants to end it to go back with his family. And I get it. I know that, it's hard to understand what he went through. And it seems like he needs a purpose and he finally gets it back. But what the crazy part is that because I'm really sitting there thinking about the characters that have presented themselves in the series, and I was really shocked. I'm sitting there like his homeboy was there, but he didn't die. So I'm like, so why is he there? Like, egging him on. And then we get Karen Page, and that shocked the shit out of me because I'm like, Karen Page ain't dead. So what the fuck are you doing here? So it's cool to see that these characters are all intertwining in his head. It's all in his head. Like, so sometimes I kind of, when I was watching the presentation, I didn't know what was real. Like, I didn't know what was real and what was fiction. Like, was it all in his head or was it all made up or is he just living a false reality? But to go back to what you said, like it doesn't answer the question, why did you escape from the prison cell not to do nothing back to your enemies, bro? Like, is it that important? You have to go after the people that killed your family more than the actual dude who tried to kill you? And you got these people that are pretending to be you, cosplaying you and destroying your name. And you went to their headquarters and beat the shit out of them. So I'm kind of thinking like you didn't give us that answer. So okay, cool, fine. He went into hiding. Okay, I'm cool with that. And then
I'm
his
not.
past mistakes.
That don't make sense to me.
It don't, but I want to go and say that's lazy writing because they go back and rephrase, they go back and retcon the fact that what he was doing within the 10-year gap. He had unfinished business that happened to come back and find him because he left one person to survive, and that was Makuchi. Which overall, that shit was crazy because she found him and he's over there like, how do you know who I am? And then she starts telling him, oh, yeah, it's crazy. You and I got the same history. You lost your family, I lost mine. And then she starts telling the story and how he killed the husband and the 3 kids. And I'm sitting there, bro, how do you not know that's not Maguchi? Like, are you that lost or you just don't give a fuck? You're just like, oh, I'm about to get what I want. They're about to murk me. I'm about to end up joining my family. That's how I took it a little bit. And then he sat there like, oh shit. She said 647. That's what you got. And then I'm gonna run destruction throughout this building. And there ain't gonna be nothing you gonna do about it. And that's what I like. That was
I
straight.
figured the moment that she said 647, I was like, yeah, he's locked in.
He's locked. I wouldn't say he was locked in because it
I'm
seemed
talking
like he
about
didn't give a
you.
shit.
You locked in.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about
I was locked in. I was like, this motherfucker about to run the fade on these motherfuckers. And then this dude's over here like talking to himself, and he pitches Karen Page, which is crazy because I don't think we talked about this. Like he has this on and off relationship with Karen. It seems like he has a thing for Karen.
they're in love with each other. Matt heard their heartbeats. They're in love with each other.
Well, I mean, overall, we see they're both fucking crazy. So I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. When she hugged him, I really thought she was physically there. I was like, shit. So that's what you're doing now? So your man is in prison. So you run back to the Punisher? I see how it is. I'm thinking to myself, bull fucking. Okay, okay. I see Karen just like running, just running to the next relationship, just like Matt. And then all of a sudden she wasn't there. When they were about to give a kiss, he's like, Frank, real quick, what time is it? And he looked at it and said, 6:47 on the dot. And he like, damn, bro. And I ain't gonna lie to you, like he sat there and watched those people go into the apartment building and then like run into the neighbor's apartment and doing whatever God knows what to them. And then they just pouring alcohol into his building and he just sitting there like, just kill me, bro. And I was sitting there, come on, bro, that's not the fucking Punisher that I know. But then when he starts getting burned on fire, I feel like that was a little bit of an exaggeration. But I like the hype up. I did like the aura forming. The when he was burning on fire and he just like, oh hell to the no. I'm not dying like no bitch. And he started running the fade on the ops. I love that shit. And this is where I definitely gotta give Marvel their kudos, the credit. This is if John Wick meets The Raid, if you ever watched that martial art movie. Because it has the same premise. It's a martial art movie that takes place in, I believe it's uh Thailand, Bangkok and Thailand. Don't get me wrong if I got the facts wrong. It's been a minute since I watched it. But the premise of the story is that a group of police squad are running into an apartment building that are full of gangsters, right? And they got to start from the first floor all the way to the last floor to get to the kingpin, who is running the apartment buildings, and it's just regular civilians and gangsters that are all under his pocket. And the police finally get the warrant to go after him, and they send a police squad, all these heavy duty guns, and they go in there with shields, and they go in there level by level destroying the villains. But this is like in reverse. And when I say the raid is because he's going down the levels as the hero and destroying the ops. In the movie, in the raid, it's the officers destroying the ops, going level by level up the stairs. So it's definitely got this John Wick vibe with the dog, which was really, really fucked up because that the homeless dude that they sold the dog from, that was also a Marine too. That was hella disrespectful, bro. Hella disrespectful, bro. Served your country, and look how they do him. Homeless, and he had a dog, and that's all he had. He was happy as shit, and the dude was about to feed his dog, and you got this douchebag coming out of nowhere and just threw the dog in front of the dumpster. And I ain't gonna lie, that had John Wick vibes. I'm like, yeah, that motherfucker's gonna get murked.
All right, last thing before we close this out, what you rating it out of 10?
Damn, 9.5.
You said 5.5 out of 10?
No, 9.5.
9.5. 6.5.
6.5. Damn, bro. Why so low, bro? Come on,
I
bro.
told you this is
I can knock the runtime. I can knock down the storyline, and I can knock down the references from Daredevil. I mean, overall, I kind of had a funny feeling they were gonna give us that shit anyway. Like, I mean, we've been talking about this since Daredevil season two. I had that funny feeling you ain't gonna acknowledge what happened. So it's either brand new day they're gonna give us what we want and explain what exactly happened, or then there's never gonna talk about it. But overall, I call cap on it. I call bullshitting on it. Uh, Still not happy he's not on season two. I mean, it would have been lovely to see him in season two, at least a cameo, goddamn it. At least a goddamn cameo. But overall, kudos to Jon Bernthal and Kevin Feige for allowing the presentation. Is definitely giving me everything I ever wanted. I mean, it's a great time to be a Marvel fan. I'm loving it. I'm sad to see that we're basically at the end for right now when it comes to TV series on Disney Plus. It leaves me wanting more. And to be honest with you, I'm gonna just tell you and Marvel, just take my money and just give me more, bro. That's all I want. That's all I want.
brand new day is right around the corner.
I know, but I can't wait any longer. I need more. I need more answers, bro. I need more Marvel shit. Like, give me something else to watch.